What's up, guys? Today we're playing some Dimir Oculus in Modern. So we've played Grixis Reanimator before in leagues and challenges, but today we're getting rid of red, getting rid of Faithless Looting, and just going pure Dimir. So a couple benefits with that is our mana base gets a lot better. We don't have to worry about fetching any red sources. And then two, we get to run some Harbinger of the Seas. So Harbinger can host some decks if they're not expecting it. We can always put that in the yard and cast Unearth on it. We were running Harbinger in our Grixis deck, but sometimes it would shut off the red and make things awkward. Here we don't have to worry about that. So what this deck's trying to do is just reanimate a couple spells. We have Abhorrent Oculus, which you can persist, or you can cast Unearth on it. And then we have Archon of Cruelty with a really cool art. The only way we can get this back is if we cast Persist on it. Some ways to get these cards into the graveyard are Thought Scour. We can discard its Psychic Frog, which I feel happens the most. You'd think you'd like bin it with Thought Scour or something, but Psychic Frog puts it in the yard, so you don't always want to mulligan hands with Archon. And then third, if you have an active Oculus, you can always bin it that way too. Your main game plan is just to kind of get through the early turns. You can have Fatal Push for early removal. You're thought scouring yourself, trying to bin an Archon. Hopefully you have a reanimation effect like Persist or Unearth. Trying to bin an Oculus, trying to get that back as soon as possible, as early as turn 2, which you'll see later in this video. Same with Archon, you can get this back on turn 2. You have some hand disruption with Thoughtseize, some mid-range cards with Psychic Frog. You can hardcast Oculus. This isn't too hard if you're casting Thought Scour or using fetch lands. We're trying 2 Winternight Stories, which you get to draw 3 cards and then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. So turn 3, cast this, discard an Archon. Hopefully you draw a reanimation effect and you can go off the next turn. And then lastly, we have one of the Spider-Man cards where it comes in as a copy of any creature in the graveyard. So you're most likely picking an Archon, but it's not the worst if you choose an opponent's Solitude, which you'll see later. You can always pick a Quantum or even an Oculus. Moving on to the sideboard, we have 4 Consigned Memory for Eldrazi matchups, some creature combo matchups, 2 Surgical Extraction for graveyard decks, Harbinger of the Seas for greedy mana bases, Disputes for blue decks, Force and Negations for counters, Into the Floodmaw, just a flexible bounce spell, Vexing Bauble for free spells, Force of Despair for go-wide creature decks or some combo decks, and Bowmasters for creature decks or decks that draw a lot of cards. So that's just a quick overview of Dimir Oculus in Modern. Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys about becoming a YouTube channel member. You'll get access to a lot of cool perks like loyalty badges, cool emotes, and early access to videos like this one. Also, we are a Mana Traders content creator, so if you want to save up to 25% on your first subscription, all that information is in the description below. Also, we do deck techs, so if you have a cool idea for a deck tech, feel free to reach out, and maybe we'll play it on the channel. So if you want to see more Modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get in the gameplay. Match 1 on the play. We're going to keep this hand. We have Surveils, we can put Archon in the yard with Frog, maybe unearth something, have some protection here if we need it. We could always Surveil an Oculus to the yard. Oh, baby. Nice called shots there. Turn 2 Oculus. Now, Meticulous Archive. So 100% getting Solitude, but it's fine. Cast Unearth on Oculus. They're just F6'd. That's really good for us. Opponent says, "You serious?" How lucky. Oh man, I love it. All right, so we don't know exactly what we're up against, but if we're assuming it's a Solitude deck, maybe Vexing Bauble Harbinger could be good. Force usually isn't good, but it could have been just like a blue-white deck. We don't know what they're on. I think I'm just going to bring in 1 Harbinger for Winter Night and try that. All right, game 2, and I think we're going to try this. We have black for Fatal Push. We do have the blue. Turn 1 Thoughtseize is what I'm feeling. This could be Jeskai also. Yeah, it's going to be Blink. All right, Ragavan, sure. There's a Harbinger. So we could have brought in the Vexing Baubles. We could have brought in some other stuff. They have the Plains anyway. So we're going to push Monkey. They have another Monkey. I think if I didn't F6, I would have subtletied the Monkey with Harbinger. But I was F6'd. I think because of that, I'm just going to play out Emperor. We'll eat their Monkey. Doesn't look like they have Solitude. We'll trade this. Not the big deal. They could Solitude this. They could Flage this. Arid Mesa. We don't mind taking this exchange. A 3rd Ragavan. They fetch. They shock. Riddler. Do we care about Riddler? We're going to Harbinger next turn, I think. I kind of wish we subtletied pitching Winter Night Stories here. I think this is fine. They're just going to draw 1 card with it. Could also Winter Night Stories taking a turn off. It just sucks for Harbinger because they get tokens here. Another land. So let's just fetch like this. I'm going to play Harbinger. I'm still going to trade with Ragavan because it still puts cards in the yard for Oculus. Because when they attack, they have to make they get to make the treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Subtlety here. Yeah, I'm fine with this. They play a land and do nothing. Another Delta. So we could play Oculus here. They didn't play a creature. I think I'm going to pass and look to Subtlety if they try to go for Quantum. We can also hold up in Sync. It'd be nice to take them off red mana. They put Feely to the yard. So we'd love for them to go land Quantum. There's land. Alright, we'll fetch. Get Undercity Sewers. Force to the graveyard. Another land. So we're kind of in the same spot. It's kind of like who blinks first. We have another Surveil, so I don't mind waiting. We'll see if they Surveil one more time with Elegant Parlor. They do. And they keep it on top. Still no plays. Another Undercity. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm just trying to think if I want to keep this land so that way I can Oculus and Sync. I kind of like it. Because we know they have a Solitude. They're just like waiting to cast, I guess. Play Delta. Get a Swamp. We got rid of Harbinger. That was a mistake. Alright, so we're going to pass. Wait for the Solitude. We're going to Sync it. See if they have like a pitch. If they go for the pitch, we're also going to do that. They do have a Quantum Riddler, so this isn't the biggest deal for them, which is unfortunate. If they have a white card, they maybe should do it. They Solitude, pitch Solitude. They evoked it. Yeah, we're going to just let that go. We kind of need some cards, because now they have Riddler. Like, we could Subtlety here, but then we just have nothing. I think we have to let this go. They play a land. This is pretty rough for us. We draw Persist. Cast Winter Night Stories. Hopefully discard an Archon. That would be ideal. So we don't draw the Archon. And this is a really rough spot. So we can discard Subtlety. We can Thoughtseize them and then just play Psychic Frog. Jeez. Oh no, they have a Flage. And Spell Snare. That's brutal. Alright, we're going to take Spell Snare. Doesn't matter what we do. I'm going to cast this, and they're going to counter it with Strix. And then we get a 2/2 blocker. I think that's fine. Like, regardless, even if we pitch here, they're still always going to have a Strix up, so their hand's pretty gross. We just had to get lucky and hit something. So their only card is Flage, which they get to kill the bird token. They actually get to Flage, cast Flage, and bring back Flage. Yeah, I'm not sure how we get out of this. They drew really well, and we just kind of stumbled here. They're tapping... Oh, wow, they top-decked... Oh, man. Yeah, they drew really well. I mean, they drew the Ephemerate, too. Nope, we do not draw out of it. Okay, so now we know what we're up against. Definitely don't need Force. I think Harbinger can be good. So if we want these, kind of like Winter Night back in. Push is good against Philia. Thoughtseize not as good. Bar is solid. Subtlety is solid. I think we try this. All right, on the play for game 3. A lot of reanimation effects. Let's keep. We have Surveil in turn 1. We can Thought Scour. We're going to keep Persist on top. If we can get Archon to the yard, we have the Persist ready. Play land. So we'll Surveil here. Thought Scour, the usual. We just have to dodge all the Solitudes. Oh, they just get a basic swamp, or they just get a basic mountain. They're playing Scared. I love it. Thought Scour. And there's Archon. So they could have Spell Snare, which is annoying. Undercity Sewers, Oculus, the Graveyard, Psychic Frog. Play Delta. I mean, we're going to cast Persist. If they have the Spell Snare, or the Strix, they have a lot of counters. Oh, okay, they didn't have it. So we'll wait for the Solitude. The inevitable Solitude coming right now. No Solitude. Something's fishy here. No Spell Snare, no Strix, no Solitude. Surveil, land to the yard. Yeah, I guess they had nothing. That's awesome. All right, match 2 on the draw. And we're going to keep this hand. We have a lot of reanimation here. Oh, no fatal pushes for us. All right, let's start with the Surveil. Thought Scour. We want more Thought Scours. Just like turn 2, double Thought Scour. No, I'm going to say no. We just have to like not die fast. Oh, mono white? Voice of Victory. We're going to die really fast. Sink into Stupor. Start with a Thought Scour. Maybe we can like Unearth an Oculus here. No luck. Surveil number 2. Archon to the graveyard. So we're going to be taking 5 next turn. Ghost Quarter. Guide of Souls. They must be playing maybe Cat Jesus. Yeah, I don't think we get out of this. Being on the draw and then their hand is like just perfect curve here. We'd have to draw like exactly Persist. And I'm sure they have an answer. We do have Emperor, but we'd have to do it all in one go. And they get to make all the tokens. Yeah, another Emperor. Yeah, we're just too slow. They had a really nice curve. All right, so up against mono white energy. Definitely want these 3. We have the pushes. We just didn't draw any. Take out the Force. Like Thoughtseize, not the greatest here. I'm gonna try that. All right, game 2 on the play. It's a 1-lander. We have Persist Archon. No way to discard. That's mulligan. We're also looking for like fatal pushes and stuff. Ugh, brutal. We're gonna keep though. Subtlety could be good for a turn 1 play here. Force of Despair. I think we put back Cavaro. We're just gonna be looking for lands. Ocelot Pride. I think we're just gonna Subtlety that. Feels bad. Again, maybe we can Unearth an Oculus. Kind of like the only way we win here. Undercity. Thoughtseize, no. Thought Scour. And we pass. Just the cat. Kind of wish they double spelled here so we could force. I don't think we force a Despair here. We just need lands. Orm's Chant. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, joke's on them. We don't have anything to do anyway. Henge. Oh, they are leading an Arbiter deck. Alright, they attack. We have to force at the end of their turn. So they make a cat. We'll force. I feel like they have Tithe up too. Bowmasters. Damn. Alright, we'll pass. We have nothing to unearth, unfortunately. If we draw land, we could have pinged Pride, but we drew this for turn. Get him for 1. Land. That's a land. Ghost Quarter. Just gonna cast Bowmasters. We don't have to trade with the cat. They have Ephemerate? They do. They should still attack with it. Oculus. Cast Psychic Frog. Next turn, we can just get Oculus back. We're gonna flash in Solitude. Discard Oculus. Now they get the rebound. Down to 17. Down to 15 here. Draw the land. So now we get to Unearth Oculus. Warp Riddler. Probably the 2 best cards we could have had, honestly. Into another Oculus. So next turn we get to cast this Oculus. They have 2 cards in hand. It could be Ephemerate for this. I'm really hoping it's their last 2 cards isn't Solitude something. But they're pausing like it is. They're just wondering if they should let this trigger or evoke it. Yep, shocker. Alright, they do that. They get in for a bunch. Play a land. Draw another Oculus. And cast this one. Play a land. They're going to activate Henge. Oh, these are good draws. Unfortunately, we can't take them. They missed on Henge, which is pretty interesting. Do they attack? They went to go attack with 3 cats, and now they're not. Kind of weird. They definitely have a spell in hand. If we draw land, we get to cast Quantum. Disruptor Flute, naming Quantum. Oh, we drew the land too. So this just costs 8 more now. They Ghost Quarter themselves. Yeah, that was unfortunate for us. They drew the flute exactly when we drew the land for Quantum. I mean, it's turn 9, and we've missed land drops like 8 times. So it's nice to hit them. Alright, we'll take the swamp, put Archon into the yard. So now any Persist is good. They draw Guide of Souls. That's going to be bad for us. Because now they get to gain life. Make 2 cats. Persist, please. Hutsteinmeyer. Alright, we'll pass. We can't even feel the yard enough for this Oculus yet. Activate Henge again. They find nothing. Oculus triggers. Still nothing. Alright, they find Leonine Arbiter. We're going to Surveil. Fatal Push to the yard. You could keep that and push like one of these, but we're just feeling this. That triggers Emperor of Bones. Man, Archon, just getting Archon back isn't even good enough right now because it only attacks for a turn. I think we just get back Oculus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we'll play it just to eat their yard maybe. We'll attack in the air. We get double Oculus triggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll take the Oculus. Maybe we can eventually flip it. There's another Oh, I mean, we'll take the Archon. We'll take this one as well. They activate Henge. A Historic card, right? I'm not sure what they have. They've revealed Disruptor Flute. Okay. So we have this Quantum Chilling that we can't cast. 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more mana to cast this or just flip Archon. They play Flagstones into Disruptor Flute. Maybe name like... There's nothing they can name that we care about, honestly. Emperor of Bones. Oh, okay, we do care about that. In terms of casting, sure, but that's fine. But like, even if we activate, we get in for, it's like 9 damage. They keep trying to attack and then not attacking. We draw. Thought Scour Self, Subtlety. Still no Persist. Emperor, Ether Solitude. Attack in the air for 10. Turn this face up. We could mill ourselves out before we win. Another Archon. Ah, there's a Persist. Persist. Another Persist. Riddler. We have 15 cards left, so... Alright, well they scooped, so that's good for us. Grindy games, okay. I mean, Vexing Bauble is good against Solitude. Like, that's about it. I think we just run it back. I really don't want to bring in Vexing Bauble for purely for Solitudes. If they had, like, maybe Subtleties or just something else. Alright, game 3, and I know this is a one-lander, but we have Surveil, and we have Thought Scour, and we're on the draw. I think this is totally keepable. We don't have Fatal Push for this. Like, maybe that's a reason to mulligan too. Draw another Oculus, which is not ideal. They play Flagstones. Get them for 1. New plays. Guide of Souls. Alright, we'll fetch. Surveil. Looking for lands. Persist. Not it. Lands, please. Fatal Push. So we could Thought Scour looking for a land. I think we have to. I think we're too far behind. We bricked. Alright. Been a Riddler. Kind of wish we had an Archon to bin. Oh, actually, damn, we should have been Oculus. Oh no. If we've been Oculus, we get to unearth it next turn. I'm so focused on drawing the land for Persist. Alright, they get in with everything. Yeah, we definitely should have binned Oculus there. Alright, we draw the land anyway. Because then we could push and Oculus, but now we cannot. So a Chaos Persist, target Riddler. Yeah, definitely should have done that. They probably have a Solitude anyway, or a Path to Exile. Draw Subtlety. So they would have just pathed the Oculus anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered, but we still got the card draw. So in the end, it was actually maybe better play. Oh, Ophelia. Could have Solituded that, or we could have Subtlety that maybe. Flicker Wisp. I just don't want more permanence. I think we Subtlety that. Because they can blink one of our lands, they can blink our blue source, and then we're just dead. Extra dead. 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Yeah, we'll take a land so that way we can Oculus and then Fatal Push, like Guide maybe. Down to 6, Winter Night. Yeah, the one lander ended up punishing us. Yeah, oh well. All right, match 3 on the draw. And we can keep this hand. It's kind of bad. But again, we have the Surveil land, we have Thought Scour. If we need to pitch fate, if we need to force subtlety, if we need to force or subtlety, we can do that. And then if we draw a discard outlet for Archon, kind of need a lot the way I describe it, but Wooded Foothills, Ragavan, Swift Spear. I'm just gonna subtlety that now. So this is gonna be prowess. You could maybe wait. You could force a iteration. They bottom that. Draw Winter Night Stories. We'll just go Delta, look to Surveil, try to maximize anything that we can put in the graveyard. They have another Swift Spear into land. So stopping the one saves some damage, but obviously they're gonna have a lot of creatures. They preordain and they top. Oof. If I was in a graveyard deck, I totally Thought Scour them. Down to 2. Take 2 damage. We're gonna Surveil. Oculus to the graveyard. Any Unearthers? Riddler. Thought Scour ourselves. 3 Oculi in the graveyard. That's not good. Too many. And then we have 2 Oculus. Alright. So unless we draw like 3 Unearths for these Oculus, it's not gonna work out well. And they have the iteration too. Damn. Yeah, if we drew like Fatal Push here, we'd be in such a great spot. Exiled Lava Dart. They use it. Down to 13. Psychic Frog. I think we just have to cast Winter Night Stories here. Kind of like a desperation play. Wow, just nothing. Another Oculus. Creature card. Archon. Yeah, we just have to pass. We could win so easily, but just these draws are not working out. There's Slick Shot. They have a Lava Dart in the yard, so if they bolt us, which is what they do, then Lava Dart. Yeah, Mutagenic. Okay. Yeah, they have enough. Yeah, really, really bad draws for us. So now that they know what we're doing, Bauble's actually pretty good against Lava Darts and their Baubles and Mutagenics. I actually like Bowmasters too, just because it chumps. Flipmail is also really good. So let's bring in these 4. Thoughtseize, not as good. Push is good. Emperor's moderate. I think like Bones can come out because they just kill it so quickly. I'll try that. On the play. You definitely want to be on the play against Prowess. I'm going to keep this hand. It's greedy, it's a 1-lander, but we're going to Surveil. If we don't hit, we have Fatal Push just to stall. Force a Despair if we need. I don't mind forcing here, I think. We'll see how crazy they go. I think this hand's, like, too good. Even if it's a 1-lander, it's close. Alright, let's see if we can get lucky here. Land number 2, Psychic Frog to the graveyard. Also, being on so few lands, maybe we should, like, understand that we have to mulligan these 1-landers. So we can't really, like, high roll anything. Hopefully they just go, like, Swift Spear Pass. Shotgun Steam Vents. Ragavan, okay. Ugh, Thought Scour. Alright, let's Thought Scour. And we miss. We do find an Archon. I would have much rather a Swift Spear than a Ragavan. Maybe if they play a couple creatures this turn, we can force. But again, land for Persist is just like GG. Oh, Quarry Steelcutter into Bauble. Damn. Okay, so they have like the anti-tech for all this. We could force this, but I'm not going to. It's interesting they baubled us before attacking with Ragavan. They hit an Oculus. Okay, that's good. Come on, land. Get a Watery Grave. Persist. Archon. Please don't have a Spell Pierce. Oh my god. No, not like this. That sucks. That was like our only shot. Yeah, missing a land for 1 turn just did it. Alright, they're trying to double spell with Steel Cutter. We need to top deck another Persist. Down to 10. Lava Dart. Down to 9. Hopefully they flash it back. Alright, they do. We're gonna have to force. Pitch a Frog. Take 6. Go down to 2. So it's like Persist or Bust here. They have Thoughtseize they could use. Well, it doesn't really matter. It sucks they went Ragavan, Steel Cutter, Bauble, Spell Pierce. That was like the perfect sequence of spells to beat us. But again, we got greedy, we kept a 1-lander, and we missed. I still think that's fine. Like, we have the Surveil, we have the Thought Scour. That's like 3 looks. I don't know. Oh my god, we drew it. We drew it. Is it going to be good enough, though? It takes their last card out. That's hilarious, dude. We deserve that top deck, right? Oh, it's just a land. All right. Ragavan versus Archon. Oh, baby. Talk about lucky top decks. Let's bring in Disputes. I don't know why we didn't bring those in. Bring those in. Take out another Thoughtseize, and we'll try that. All right, game 3, and now the game's laughing at us, giving us 5 lands. Gonna mulligan into 2 lands. I love this. Keep, put back Winter Night Stories. So now we have push. We can get Swamp here, push this, I believe. But maybe we want Dispute for something later? We'll see. They shouldn't cast any iterations until turn 3 anyway. I'll take a Ragavan here. Okay, cool. Island. So we're going to do this now, so that way they don't Spell Pierce it, because that would be terrible. If they have a second one, so be it. I don't think they would keep 2. Preordain. Bottom. Are they looking for a second land? They are. Oh, now who's the greedy person? So we could surveil, but then we don't have blue open. I think that's fine. Bauble to the graveyard. We can still hold up and push. Blue would only be for other preordains, but I don't even think we're wasting dispute on that. They do find the second land. They shock it in. Slick shot. Bauble. They bubble us. We're going to push number 2. And now we get the Winter Stories, but they could iteration, which dispute would be great. I'm actually going to play this a little slower. I'm going to take 1 turn off. I think because they're stumbling a little bit, iteration really gets them back in it, and we can still surveil here. And I feel like they've just been waiting for that second land for iteration. Yep, look at that. Called shots. I mean, it's pretty obvious, I'd say, but... Oh, they drew the land for turn. That's funny. So now we get the Winter Stories, and maybe Unearth something. Land we don't need. There's a delta. So let's cast Winter Night before we play either of our lands, because we'll probably just put a tap shock land. Everyone's always reading this card because it's so random. So we're looking for a Persist, just something. We haven't drawn much, honestly. We've drawn 2 pushes and a dispute and just kind of dealt with our board. We draw a Riddler. So creature card, Archon. So because we drew this, now we're going to play the Delta for sure. So Into the Flood Maw can deal with Steel Cutter, and then we can Fatal Push any creature. Another land. Now they're drawing a bunch of lands. Oh, and they're just over it. All right. Match 4 on the play. This is a 5-land hand with double Fatal Push. How greedy is this to keep, assuming Fatal Push is going to be amazing? I feel like most decks are creature decks. Let's just roll with it. Oh, and they start with Leyline. So this is Domain. Really hoping for no Scion. Psychic Frog? We'll take a Psychic Frog, I guess. We just kind of lose to Scion unless we draw exactly Archon. Okay, Ragavan. So we're going to push this now, just really hoping for no Scion. But if they kept this hand, we're assuming they have it. We can surveil with this, cast Psychic Frog, hold open push next turn. Oh, they fetch immediately for our planes. Maybe they're afraid of Blood Moon or Harbinger. Kavu. Okay, so that's Fatal Pushable as well. That's nice. So the double Fatal Push hand ended up working out. We're still going to surveil, though, because our hand is garbage. Thoughtseize. Do we want a Thoughtseize? I think so. Because we want our Frog to stick around. So let's take their Leyline Binding, most likely. I guess we're not going to play Frog, because we're going to push this Doorkeeper. Take the Thrall. Push here. Play this tapped, and then pass. So their hand is Consign, Thundering Falls. We do have to be wary of Consign, because it can stop Archon triggers. They just pass. We draw Riddler. Play it Psychic Frog. Like, they can consign this trigger here if they want, which they should do. Oh no, they drew Bolt for turn. Oh, and they have the consign too. Oof. Please don't use it. Please don't use it. Damn it. All right. So now we're both top decking. We have Quantum out. We draw the land for turn. So we're definitely going to slam Quantum here. Doorkeeper Thrall. Oh my god. They're top decking super well. All right, well, I'm still going to cast it. That sucks though. Just a naked 4/6. That's probably their best draw, short of a Scion. I'd rather have a Scion than this, honestly. And Ragavan. Who's going to top deck better? Oh, we still get to draw 2, actually, so not the biggest deal. We can target their Kavu. We can Subtlety. Kind of just hold up in Subtlety, right? We could Kavaro, Psychic Frog. I really want to draw at least... I really want to, like, pitch my hand here. So let's play this out. We'll attack. And then we'll look to just, like, Subtlety, like, Ambush Viper. They play a land. Do they attack? They do attack. Cast Subtlety. We'll eat the Ragavan. I know this stops ETBs, so it could kind of save them. Maybe it's better to just do that and let them draw for the top of our deck because we don't really care. Unearth Psychic Frog. All right, and they've seen enough. Very nice. All right, so we're up against Domain. Harbinger can be solid. I think Force of Despair is really good. What's not good? I think Force of Negation's not the greatest. We want these 3. Fatal Push is obviously really good. Emperor eats their Plages. Into the Flood Maw, definitely, because that can just bounce turn 1, what's it called, and then they could be screwed on mana. Winter Knight. They're kind of like an aggro deck, so like I don't want to draw 2 Winter Knights, can be bad. I mean, Archon gets less good just because of Thrall. Oculus is still good. Emperor's good. Maybe like 1 Thoughtseize out. I'm gonna try that. All right, game 2, and we have our mana. We have like decent stuff going on. We don't have anything for turn 1 Ragavan, or if they have, what's it called here? I think I'm still gonna keep on the draw. They do have the Leyline. Do they have the Ragavan? They do. Can we draw push? Draw another Thought Scour. All right, we're going to shock this in. I guess, honestly, yeah, I'm not going to do it now. If they want to use a counter on this, I think I'm fine with it. They attack with Ragavan. See what they find. Subtlety. Do they have the Scion? All right, they most likely just have a Thrall. Are they going to stub this? No. We draw an Oculus. Not good. Not good. Let's Thought Scour again. Still nothing. Dude, come on. 3rd Oculus? That's brutal. All right, we're going to surveil. Persist. I'll keep on top. 3 Oculus is pretty crazy. So they should surveil. I'm actually surprised they didn't surveil here and get a white with this. I guess maybe they have double surveil or they're going to get the triumph here. They do. Okay. Ragavan gets in. They're going to have upwards to 5 mana. They find Persist that we kept on top. So you keep that on top just so Ragavan hits it and it just like doesn't mean anything. Do they do anything? We're assuming they have a lot of like leyline bindings in hand. Yeah, they just pass. Dark Slick Shores. I'm gonna play that out. So I guess we'll cast Oculus and make them use a leyline binding. Unless they just have Dispute. Okay. We'll pass. I guess if we were thinking Dispute, maybe we could have just played Psychic Frog to bait that out. Ragavan's just gonna run away with it. Ragavan finds into the Flood Maw. Most likely not winning this game. We drew incredibly poor with all the Oculi. Another land. Play Psychic Frog. This will get killed or countered. We'll play this. And it sucks too, because if they go to eat it, we can discard our hand, but then they just leyline binding it, so it doesn't matter. Path to Exile. Discard Archon. It's crazy to see a bunch of paths like in the meta right now. It does hit Quantum, so get an island. Most likely not winning this. They're going to hit us for 7 down to 5. And then we surveil. We need to find exactly Persist, and they need to not have Thrall or leyline binding. Oh, they just eat that. That's right. So we need to surveil one into the yard and then find Persist. There's Unearth. Damn, that would have been a good one, actually. Yeah, this is not what you want to see. Into Flage. Down to 2. And then they bolt us. Yep. Okay. All right, let's run it back. Try to draw a little bit better. Game 3. All right. This is an easy mulligan. Damn, this hand kind of sucks, too. Yeah, let's go to 5. All right, this is better. Sucks we had to mulligan that hard, but we're going to keep the push, put back the sink, and I guess Thought Scour. And they lead off on leyline binding for the 3rd game in a row. You really hope they don't have it like every single game, but if they keep a 7 with leyline, that's just kind of unlucky for us. So we're going to look to surveil turn 1 into push turn 2 with Dark Slick Shores. Flooded Strand, no plays. I like that. Again, it could be Dispute for Frog. Kavaro, Graveyard, Archon. So we are going to run this out. Probably into a Dispute. No Dispute. Okay. So now we get to discard Archon, and then hopefully draw Persist. See how lucky we can get 2 matches in a row. They surveil. That's kind of good for us. They've been a land. They must have Scion. There's no way they would keep this hand without Scion. There it is. All right, so Persist wins it. Persist. Ooh, Unearth. Not good enough. Let's attack. Dare them to block. No blocks. Damn, we draw land. Play Scalding Tarn. We don't want to discard Archon now because if they play Kavu before we can actually draw Persist, we just lose. But see, now they have untapped mana, so not looking too good for us. They do get in. With Vigilance, of course, they are going to. We would love for them to tap out. They do not. So we're assuming they have Leyline Binding, Thrall, something. Get Undercity. Wow, there's Persist. Okay. We shouldn't have played the land first, actually. Discard Archon. We're going to Persist. Okay, so they flashed in Thrall, but it has Hexproof, so we can't actually do anything. We do get the Archon. Let's attack. So we should have attacked first, I guess. I don't know. I was thinking we could, if they didn't have the Thrall, then we could get in all the way. All right, there's Sync for Leyline, actually. But now they can just Leyline Binding. All right, this didn't work out as well as we had hoped because they had the Thrall. So they need Leyline Binding, which isn't hard. They could also Tribal Flames this. Flage. Okay. Oh my god, they had the Path. That's brutal. Damn, their hand was... So they had 2... So this is something like you can't be too mad about, but their hand was pretty disgusting. Like this is basically them comboing off, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, we draw Force of Despair. A little late. All right, let's give the Frog Flying. Gonna attack. See if they want to double block here. They do not. Draw land. Let's Sync Leyline. We can't push this because we can't turn on Revolt. We'll cycle. Probably should have cycled first, I guess. Winter Night, yeah. Unfortunate games. All right, final match. We're going to keep this hand. We have turn 2 Frog, discard Archon, looking for Persist. We can protect ourselves with Force if we need to. Probably Force pitching Sync, and then redraw with Quantum. Witch Meadow Blessed. So another Solitude deck. We do draw the Persist, which is pretty cool. Play this tapped. So we have a turn 3 Archon. Hopefully dodging. It's just going to be like Orzhov Blink or Esper Blink. Psychic Frog. Play Psychic Frog. Hopefully they don't have anything crazy. Ooh. This is going to be like a combo deck. Solar Transformer. I mean, we are 2 and 2, so they get 3 energy counters. Oh, just no lands. What? Is this like a Belcher? Winter Night Stories. All right, let's discard Archon. I mean, we have the Force for anything tricky. Persist Archon. Draw. Oh, Creeping Chill. We drew Thoughtseize. So let's attack. Discard Psychic Frog. I think that's fine for now. I want to draw a black land. Another Winter Night Stories. It's going to play this tapped. Hopefully this Force just seals the deal. they don't draw anything, they should just lose here. Do they bolt this in? Tap land. 4 mana. Balustrade Spy. It's gonna be like Vengevine stuff? And if we would have drawn the black source to snag that, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Creeping Chills, down to 14. Then we get the swords. Do they have the Vengevines? They do have the Vengevines, okay. We're at 14, but they can only hit us for they can hit us for 12, but we can block, so they only hit us for 9. And they can't get back Thassa's Oracle this turn. They can salvage Titan. Maybe we should have forced one of the Creeping Chills, but we should still be fine. Vengevine. I guess they're at 23. They hit us down, but they're at 0 cards in hand. So we block and they lose. Down to 2. We draw Persist. Can they put a card back on top of their library? Do they have a Jack-o'-lantern? I don't see it. Discard Thoughtseize. I want to draw Thought Scour. Oh, you know what? They do have 1 card in hand. Let's attack. They can block Frog, so there's no point in attacking there. They discard the card anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, it is Memory's Journey. Okay, so we just force this and we win. Wow, the last card in hand was Memory's Journey. That's really funny. So they would do this at upkeep, so that way they'd win on their turn. So we're just gonna pass and then force this, and then we win. Ooh, okay. They didn't even try to do it, but we had it covered. All right, so Force of Despair is just completely GG against them. Surgical Extraction, Consign to Memory, Harbinger. All of this is pretty good. Consign stops all the Vengevine triggers and stops the what's it called trigger? Creature triggers. Okay, so we won a lot, I believe. Maybe too much. Thoughtseize is good. Fatal Push easily comes out. Thought Scour can be good because it makes them draw. I think Emperor can maybe be good. Winter Knight is really slow. Archon's slow. This is slow. Subtlety is good. Oculus is slow. Let's see if we want all of this. Wow, that fits. I think Vexing Bauble too, because you have to cast from graveyard. Oh no, Vengevine just says return from graveyard. Yeah, and then Creeping Chill, you just exile it. So I don't think Vexing Bubble does what we want. I think this is fine. All right, well, game 2, and we're definitely keeping this hand. Double Surgical and Thoughtseize. Our plan is just to make sure that they don't get their plan off, rather than us doing our plan. Because if they pop off, we get to Surgical their Vengevines, Surgical their Creeping Chills, and then they just do no damage. I'll see if they have the Thoughtseize. Oh, tap land, okay. So we're definitely going to Thoughtseize turn 1. Sink into Stupor. And we want to Thoughtseize because we could always take their Thoughtseize if they have it. Oh, Pact the Negation and Charbelcher. So we're going to take Charbelcher. You could have taken their land as well, but I feel like they're on 2 lands. They can Prism. If they top deck a land, it's just a terrible take. So they play Disciple, play Penthead Prism. So their hands Balustrade Spy, Pact the Negation. So they're going to pact one of the Surgicals and we just do the other one. Consign to Memory is pretty good. Play that tapped and pass. So what we're going to want to do is consign this trigger, make them pact it, and then we're just going to Surgical their stuff. We're not going to replicate. We want them to pact it, assuming they drew nothing else. We'll see if they go for it here. Yeah, Consign to Memory is just a house against them because they have the Charbelcher. They are going for it. All right, that enters. So do we want to trick them? They would have had to draw on another Pact the Negation in this. They didn't draw a land. I think this is fine. Let's see if we get burned from this. So they'd pack here. All right, they do pact. So we just get to hit all of these. We just hit the Narcomoebas, and then their Vengevines are stuck in the graveyard. So let's look at their hand, see how many, or look at their deck, see how many packs. 1 pact, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no more packs. Okay, so we get to cast Surgical. So here we Surgical Narcomoeba first because that means they can't get the Vengevines back. They can't get the swords back to sacrifice in order to get the Salvage Titan back, which would trigger the Vengevines, and then that's how they kill you. Surgical just OP in this matchup. All right, so that was Dimir Oculus in Modern. I feel like that league wasn't that great. I feel like half our wins came from top decking Lucky Persists, and then our losses were just like our opponents drawing really good stuff. Like with this deck, you kind of hope to play Psychic Frog, maybe get some hits in, maybe get Oculus down quickly with Unearth, maybe grind a little bit more hard casting Oculus or getting Riddler down eventually. We did get a turn to Unearth and Persist, which was cool. But other than that, we just kind of stumbled and it was kind of weird, I thought. Maybe it was just that league. Maybe this deck has more potential than I'm letting on. The Winter Night Stories was kind of cool. Kavera was decent. 4 mana felt a little pricey. But overall, I feel like this is a very kind of luck-oriented combo deck where you really need the reanimation effects and the payoffs. It felt like there was a lot of air in this deck, so it's something to consider if you want to play this deck. But overall, I'd say it's a fine deck. But that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more Modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.